There's no reason to have a tie in the National Football League in professional football. They don't have ties in college. They go until somebody wins. What's going on, guys? So, we had a game last night between the Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers. Let's go ahead and break it down and talk about some things that happened in it. Got my coffee here. It's early in the morning in Portland, Oregon, so let's go ahead and get this done. So, last night, Sunday night football, we had the Green Bay Packers going into Dallas. Play the Dallas Cowboys. Micah Parsons, big kind of the big media hype was that Michael Parsons was coming back to Dallas to exact revenge at Jerry World for the team that traded him when he didn't want to be traded to the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers were also paying him $188 million over the next 4 years to be the man that he was in Dallas, Pro Bowler, to be the defensive presence that he was in Dallas. The game started off great for the Packers. They got the ball, they drove down, they scored, and then they were able to force a 3-and-out on the Cowboys. They were able to force a 3-and-out on the Cowboys the following drive, and then they went down and they scored again, and that's when things started to once again kind of just all get together for the perfect storm that was the ending of this game that ended in a tie. We'll get to that in a few moments. Green Bay Packers extra point was blocked and then returned for a 2-point conversion, which is, again, bizarre. Another blocked field goal in 2 weeks. Our special teams needs to get some things figured out in terms of how they are defending on our field goals, because it's the second week in a row where it has come to kind of bite us. After that, I mean, the Green Bay Packers, they're looking good. They were keeping their offense off the field and making it really difficult to score. And then, I wasn't going to sit here and say that Dallas was going to get their butts kicked. I knew that it was going to be a game. So the Packers have now not allowed a touchdown in the first quarter of every game that they played. They kept the Cowboys to 0 points in the first. In the second quarter, the Packers got the touchdown, and that's when Dallas got the 2-point conversion. Traded some punts, and then Dallas was able to put some points on the board with about 5 minutes left to go. And then, pretty critical errors. Packers fumbled on a Jordan Love strip. It was a sack fumble. It's recovered on the 15-yard line with about 21 seconds left to go. So you have the strap sack with 15 seconds left to go, and the Cowboys score right afterwards with a short pass. Pickens had a great game. He had 2 touchdowns, and that's how they ended the half. The Cowboys had a lot of momentum going into the second half. They had 2 touchdowns in the last part of the first half. They get the ball back. The Packers are able to force them to punt in 5 plays. Then the Packers go down. They retake the lead. 76-yard drive that ended up with a down run by Jacobs. Jacobs had 2 touchdowns. He had 86 yards in the game total. And then the fourth quarter was basically just trading touchdowns. And then the Packers hit a field goal with basically as time expires to force overtime. And in overtime, both teams were only able to squeeze off field goals. Dallas got the ball first, and Micah Parsons was able to sack Dak Prescott as he was beginning a run towards the end zone, and sacked him down on the 4. And then an incomplete pass after that forced the Dallas Cowboys to basically take the field goal rather than go for the touchdown on 4th down and give the ball back to the Packers. Packers went 64 yards. Very, very, very poor clock management towards the end of the game. They almost lost. They were able to squeeze off one last play on 3rd down and basically an incomplete pass with 1 second to go. stops the clock, and they're able to kick the game-tying field goal, and we have a tie. You go over the numbers, and the numbers are good for the Packers. The numbers are good for Dallas. Jordan Love, 31 for 43 for 337 yards, 3 interceptions. He was sacked once. He had a QBR of 58. Dak Prescott, 31 for 44, 319, 3 touchdowns, 1 sack, QBR of 94. The biggest difference is the Packers had 1 turnover, gave momentum back to Dallas. After that, I am impressed with how Jordan Love was able to take care of the ball, and he was able to get completions without forcing the ball, which was kind of a worry after last week with the Browns, where he forces the ball into triple coverage and gets intercepted with the game. As the game, it's kind of a game-winning drive to try and drive down and ice the game. So I was pretty impressed with Jordan Love's performance overall. Obviously, the fumble way back in your own territory. The Green Bay Packer pass protection was going to have some issues. They had 3 offensive linemen that were out on injury, so that was one of the big keys that I had going into the game. Talking about it on my live stream. You guys can check out the live stream. I'll leave a link right here. And then I didn't think that Dallas was going to be a pushover, but Dallas made a lot of really, really big plays. They were able to get into our secondary. Taking a look at Dak Prescott's chart right here. You see we got 37. We got a couple here in the 20 to 30 range, and they were trying to throw the ball. You got one out here all the way at 50. But yeah, for the most part, he was keeping it within that 5 to 10 yard range. But down here, they had some good targets, and those big plays are ones that really killed us. Also, another thing that killed us is we had some opportunities to get them off the field and penalties. I haven't seen the Packers penalized that much this year. Definitely last night, I think they ended up with 8 penalties for about 65 yards. Dallas had 10 for about 85. So it was a game where you saw a lot of penalties. George Pickens had a great game. 8 receptions for 134 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. He had 31 yards after catching. They were utilizing him a lot because the fact that CeeDee Lamb was gone. He was out with a high ankle sprain. Oh, shit. And so we end with a tie. And that's my biggest problem with this game. I want a winner. I want a loser. Yeah, the fact is that the loser could be the Green Bay Packers. I fully understand that. I fully get it. You know what? Every time the Green Bay Packers play, there's an opportunity for them to win, and there's an opportunity for them to lose. But this tie stuff. And now we get into, I guess now, the biggest story of last night. And that's the ending, and that's the fact that we ended in a tie. I've never liked ties. I don't like ties in football. I think that they're dumb. I think that it leaves the fans unfulfilled. I think that it makes things difficult with seeding towards the end of the year with the playoffs. I don't know how to feel about a tie. Did we win? Did we lose? Is this good? Is this bad? What happens when you tie another team? How is that taken into consideration? I watched an overnight game on Saturday night in college football. It was the Oregon Duck Penn State game, and it was great. They go, someone gets possession of the ball, they get an opportunity to score, then the other team gets an opportunity to score. If they both score, then they switch possessions. Then this team gets an opportunity to score, and then this team throws an interception, and the game's over. After the first possession, you have to go for 2 on touchdowns. And maybe it's about player safety. They don't want players on the field that long, but I'm pretty sure that even the players would. Here's my take on the tie. It needs to go away. It needs to go away, and it needs to go away soon, because there's no reason to have a tie in the National Football League in professional football. They don't have ties in college. They go until somebody wins. The same should be for the NFL. I see no reason why one football team can't get the opportunity to score and the other football team can't get an opportunity to score. Don't even have timed quarters. Just put them on, like, move them back to like the 40. College, I think, starts at the 35. We can move them back to the 40 or start them at midfield and give them the opportunity to score and switch, and then give the other team an opportunity to score. And then the next series, take away the option of kicking an extra point like they do in college. You got to go for 2. You have a game that was hyped up so much for this to end in a tie. It's really a disservice to the fans, and I think that it's also kind of a disservice to the players. Let's just have wins. Let's just have losses. Let's get rid of the tie. Ties only happen like once a year, and like I said, there's no reason for them. Why do we have it? Why do we have it? You let me know. Tell me in the comments, why do we have the ties? What should we do differently? Because for a game it's only week 4. I wouldn't say it's a huge game, but it was kind of a big hyped up game. It's an important game for both teams. Both teams were coming off of a loss in games they really should have won. That's my thoughts on it. Guys, let me know in the comments what you think. The Packers have a bye this week, and then they go ahead and they're playing the Cincinnati Bengals. Josh Burrow will not be playing in that game. He's still got turf toe. So Monday Night Football tonight. Dolphins, Jets. Someone's getting a win. New York Jets, Miami Dolphins. Someone's getting their first win. I'm going with Miami on that. Denver, Cincinnati. In the later game, I am going with Denver on that game. Bo Nix is my man. He's a great player. Duck. So, anyways, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this tie business. I think that this should be done with. I think that we should play until there's a winner. Figure it out. They're smart people that probably know more about it than I do. I'll catch you guys all later in the next video.